Shutdown stalemate set to drag into sixth week as Trump pushes Republicans to change Senate rules. Washington, AP, Republicans and Democrats remained at a stalemate on the government shutdown over the weekend as it headed into its sixth week, with food aid potentially delayed or suspended for millions of Americans and President Donald Trump pushing GOP leaders to change Senate rules to end it. White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt said Sunday that Trump has spoken to Senate Majority Leader John Thune, RSD, and House Speaker Mike Johnson, RLA, as he has publicly and repeatedly pushed for an end to the Senate filibuster. But Republicans have strongly rejected Trump's calls since his first term, arguing that the rule requiring 60 votes to overcome any objections in the Senate is vital to the institution and has allowed them to stop Democratic policies when they are in the minority. Leavitt said Sunday that the Democrats are crazed people who haven't shown any signs of budging. That's why President Trump has said Republicans need to get tough. They need to get smart, and they need to use this option to get rid of the filibuster, to reopen the government and do right by the American public, Leavitt said on Sunday Morning Futures, on Fox News. Democrats have voted 13 times against reopening the government, denying Republicans the votes in the 53-47 Senate as they insist on negotiations to extend government health care subsidies that will be cut off at the end of the year. Republicans say they won't negotiate until the government is reopened. With the two parties at a standstill, the shutdown, now in its 33rd day, appears likely become the longest in history. The previous record was set in 2019, when Trump demanded that Congress give him money for a U.S.-Mexico border wall. A potentially decisive week, Trump's push on the filibuster could prove a distraction for Thune and Republican senators who have opted instead to stay the course as the consequences of the shutdown have become more acute, including more missed paychecks for air traffic controllers and other government workers and uncertainty over the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP. Republicans are hoping that at least some Democrats will eventually give them the votes they need as they hold repeated votes on a bill to reopen the government. Democrats have held together so far, but some moderates have been in talks with rank-and-file Republicans about potential compromises that could guarantee votes on health care in exchange for reopening the government. Republicans need 5 additional Democrats to pass their bill. We need 5 with a backbone to say we care more about the lives of the American people than about gaining some political leverage, Thune said on the Senate floor as the Senate left Washington for the weekend on Thursday. Virginia's Sen. Tim Kaine, a Democrat, said on ABC's This Week, on Sunday that there is a group of people talking about a path to fix the health care debacle, and a commitment from Republicans not to fire more federal workers. But it's still unclear if those talks could produce a meaningful compromise. The coming week could also be crucial for Democrats as the open enrollment period for health care marketplaces governed by the Affordable Care Act opened November 1st and people are already starting to see spikes in premium costs for the next year, meaning it may be too late to make immediate changes. Democrats are also watching the results of gubernatorial elections in Virginia and New Jersey on Tuesday. No appetite for bipartisanship. As Democrats have pushed Trump and Republicans to negotiate, Trump has showed little interest in doing so. He immediately called for an end to the Senate filibuster after a trip to Asia while the government was shut down. Leavitt said Sunday that the president spoke to both Thune and Johnson about the filibuster. But a spokesman for Thune said Friday that his position hasn't changed, and Johnson said on Sunday that Republicans traditionally have resisted calling for an end to the filibuster because it protects them from the worst impulses of the far-left Democrat Party. Trump's call to end it is a reflection of all of our desperation, Johnson said on Fox News Sunday. Trump has spent much of the shutdown mocking Democrats, posting videos of House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries in a Mexican sombrero. The White House website has a satirical MySpace page for Democrats, a parody based on the social media site that was popular in the early 2000s. We just love playing politics with people's livelihoods, the page reads. Democrats have repeatedly said that they need Trump to weigh in. Virginia's Sen. Mark Warner said that he hopes the shutdown could end this week because Trump is back in Washington. Republicans can't move on anything without a Trump sign-off, Warner said on Face the Nation, on CBS. Record-breaking shutdown. The 35-day shutdown that lasted from December 2018 to January 2019 ended when Trump retreated from his demands over a border wall. That came amid intensifying delays at the nation's airports and multiple missed paydays for hundreds of thousands of federal workers. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy said on ABC's This Week that there have already been delays at several airports as air traffic controllers aren't getting paid, and it's only going to get worse. Many of the workers are confronted with a decision, he said. Do I put food on my kids' table? Do I put gas in the car? Do I pay my rent or do I go to work and not get paid? As flight delays around the country increased, New York City's Emergency Management Department posted on Sunday that Newark Airport was under a ground delay because of staffing shortages in the control tower, and that they were limiting arrivals to the airport. The average delay is about 2 hours, and some flights are more than 3 hours late, the account posted. FAA planning notes show a possibility of a full ground stop later if staffing shortages or demand increases. SNAP crisis. Also in the crossfire are the 42 million Americans who receive SNAP benefits. The Department of Agriculture planned to withhold $8 billion needed for payments to the food program starting on Saturday until 2 federal judges ordered the administration to fund it. House Democratic leader Jeffries accused Trump and Republicans of attempting to weaponize hunger. He said that the administration has managed to find ways for funding other priorities during the shutdown, but is slow-walking pushing out SNAP benefits despite the court orders. But somehow they can't find money to make sure that Americans don't go hungry, Jeffries said in an appearance on CNN's State of the Union. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, in his own CNN appearance Sunday, said the administration continues to await direction from the courts. The best way for SNAP benefits to get paid is for Democrats, for 5 Democrats to cross the aisle and reopen the government, Bessent said. _______.